All right, let's jump right in. We're tackling this whole Gen Z sharing thing today.
Yeah, it's a big one.
We've got two Ogilvy reports on deck. Brand is what you share, not what you sell. And their special edition, just on Gen Z. Seems like big changes are coming for how brands connect, right?
Huge. What's fascinating is it's less about brands blasting out their message, more like inviting people in. Hey, let's build this thing
I
together.
like that. And the old way, just slick ads all the time,
Yeah,
that's dead with this generation, yeah.
totally. In fact, one stat that jumped out from the reports, 80%, a full 80% of these young people, they've backed OT of buying something just because online it had bad buzz.
Savvy, right. They can spot a fake from a mile away. So, okay, sharing, how did that even work? It's such a broad idea.
Right, it's way deeper than just like sharing a meme online. Think of it as brands sharing power even. Their process, giving you access, really letting Gen Z in a way we haven't seen before.
Okay, get specific. What's that look like for a brand to share this way?
Well, they lay out 15 areas in the report, this co-creation ladder, they call it, like a framework bringing Gen Z up from the ground floor.
15 areas. Wow, we're talking a whole makeover then, not just small tweaks.
Yeah.
Give me some highlights. What are some key rungs on this ladder?
So, one of the foundational ones, brand purpose. It's not enough to just say you care about, say, sustainability. Gen Z wants action to be part of making it happen.
Makes sense. We've all seen those brands who,
Mhm.
well, their actions don't match the words, and online, especially Gen Z, will call that out in a second.
Exactly. And it's bigger than just avoiding a PR nightmare online. It's brands realizing Gen Z can actually make them better. The Adidas thing, partnering with Parlay for the Oceans, shoes from recycled plastic.
Oh, yeah, I've got a pair of those. Didn't even realize it tied into this whole co-creation thing.
It totally does. Or another one from the report, Reformation. Super transparent with all their sustainability stuff, full reports, even letting customers ask directly, give suggestions.
So inviting that dialogue, even if it gets a little tough sometimes,
Yeah.
authenticity, right? Gen Z values that, which means being open even when it's hard.
100%. And this openness, it goes beyond just the eco stuff. Another rung on the ladder that's interesting is how brands are handling recruiting and employee experience, they call it.
Oh, interesting. So not just marketing to Gen Z, but attracting them as employees even, co-creating the future workplace itself.
Exactly. This generation wants to work for companies that share their values, sure, but also they want to shape that workplace. The AT&T example, they've got this whole training program now where employees can get certified in AI, data analysis, valuable skills for the future.
Win-win, right?
Yeah.
AT&T gets a more engaged, skilled workforce, and Gen Z gets to build the kind of work environment they actually want.
Exactly. And this is a crucial point from the reports. It's not building for Gen Z, it's building with. Whole different mindset.
Not just tweaking a few things. This is a ground-up rethink, huh?
Absolutely. And this is where it gets really interesting. Companies like Google making some bold moves.
Google moves, you've got my attention. What'd they do?
So they realized the old way of like assuming what Gen Z wanted, dead end. So they tried something kind of radical, they asked them.
Sounds obvious when you say it like that, but how do you even DO that authentically, not just another marketing thing?
That's where this shared power idea comes in. Google actually made this. Gen Z Council. Basically, young people advising the company directly on everything, product design, you name it.
Hold on, an actual council? That's kind of wild.
Right. But a perfect example of this new era. And what's interesting is the report found the more info Google shared with this council, the better their feedback got. Trust, transparency, key.
Makes sense. The more ownership you give, the more invested they are, right?
100%. And this ownership thing, it's huge with the community building stuff too, not just the giant, like everyone can see it social media. That's not enough anymore.
Yeah, feels very last generation now, doesn't it?
Big time. Got to be where Gen Z actually is. They want those digital campfire moments, the report calls it, where they can be themselves, real talk.
Okay, digital campfires. I like that image.
Yeah.
So what, like small Discord servers, niche subreddits, that kind of thing?
Exactly. Belonging, shared passions, like Glossier, the makeup brand. They've got Slack channels just for their top customers, even broken down by city so you can meet locally.
Virtual neighborhoods,
Yeah.
basically, within the brand itself. That's smart.
It is. And not just feel-good stuff. There's real value. Glossier takes what they hear on those Slacks and uses it directly for a new product.
Hands into co-creators. I love it.
Right. And this takes us to another level, this ownership spreading to Web3 even.
Ah, yes, Web3. The metaverse, NFTs, blockchain, all that very exciting, but man, it can be a lot to wrap your head around. Where does this co-creation stuff fit in?
Well, the heart of Web3, it's all about decentralization, right?
Yeah.
Users get more control, more ownership, and that lines up perfectly with what Gen Z wants.
Makes sense. So it's not just brands hopping on the latest tech. It's got to be about using it to give Gen Z something better, more immersive, more interactive.
More fun, even. Remember the Adidas shoes? They're doing NFTs too now. One collection, owners got exclusive virtual clothes for their avatars in the metaverse.
Oh, that's cool. I get it. That unique factor, very Gen Z.
Totally. Even Chipotle did something similar. Virtual restaurant on Roblox, the gaming platform. You could earn burrito bucks to spend on, get this, real Chipotle.
No way, burrito bucks. I'm sold. That is brilliant, though, meeting them where they already are.
It is. The whole point is you got to move beyond the old ways. This collaborative approach is key now.
And the report has some cool examples, even brands that have been around forever, proving it's never too late to change, huh?
Totally. We talked about newer brands, but the ones that are really interesting, they've been around for ages, completely reinventing themselves with this co-creation stuff.
And nobody's a better example of that than Mattel. The report really holds them up as, like, the gold standard for how to age gracefully in the digital world.
Oh, Mattel is fascinating. I mean, this company's from 1945, right? Barbie, Hot Wheels, not exactly what you think of as cutting-edge tech wizards.
Exactly. So what they do that was so revolutionary, I know.
It's-
It's hard to imagine, right? Mattel embracing all this new stuff.
Yeah.
What they actually do.
So get this. 2020, they launched this thing called Mattel Creations. And it's all about their fans, giving them a peek behind the curtain. Exclusive product drops, collabs with artists, even membership programs where fans get a say in what gets made.
No kidding. So it's like they're saying, hey, we've been doing this for, what, almost 80 years, but we're still listening. We want you in on this.
Exactly. Even these legacy brands, they can learn from their community, and the crazy thing is, it's working. Mattel Creations has been huge for them. Proof you're never too old to switch it up.
That's kind of inspiring, honestly. This is like the takeaway here. It's not enough to just exist in these new digital spaces.
Yeah.
You got to be active, open to working with people, not just talking at them.
You got it. The old way of brands controlling everything, that's over. It's about building a space where they can actually have a dialogue with Gen Z, shape the future together.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about owning your audience. It's about owning the future together.
100%.
Right.
That's the shift. And the brands that get that, they're the ones that'll make it.
It's a lot to process, though, right? All the new tech platforms and Gen Z, they've got high expectations. For someone feeling a little overwhelmed, what's the one thing to remember?
Authenticity, hands down. Gen Z can smell a fake a mile away. So before any brand dives into the metaverse, NFTs, any of it, they gotta ask, are we being real here? True to ourselves. If it's just a marketing gimmick, Gen Z will see right through it.
Like that saying, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but good luck fooling Gen Z. They know.
They know. And these reports, they really hammer that home. It's not a trend. This is how it's got to be now. Long-term commitment to those relationships, showing Gen Z, not just telling them you get it, you're willing to share your brand with them for real.
Powerful stuff. Because with Gen Z, it's not about selling a product. It's about sharing that future.
Right.
Okay.
You said it. And that future's bright, but only for brands ready to embrace this whole sharing co-creation thing.
Couldn't agree more. We covered a lot of ground today, this new world of co-creation. But here's something to think about as we wrap up. You've been diving deep with us into this co-creation thing, but how can you use these ideas? Maybe it's changing how you connect with your favorite brands or even starting your own community-driven project. Food for thought. Until next time, keep exploring, keep sharing, and keep that conversation going.